CCA Exam Review Part 2. Question 51. What is the purpose of a compliance committee? Correct answer: to support and advise the compliance officer and program. The committee provides multidisciplinary oversight and guidance. Question 52. Who should be represented on a compliance committee? Correct answer: leaders from clinical, legal, finance, HR, and operations. Diverse representation ensures comprehensive risk oversight. Question 53. What is the privacy rule under HIPAA? Correct answer: it sets standards for the use and disclosure of FI. The privacy rule protects patient confidentiality. Question 54. What is the HIPAA security rule? Correct answer: standards for safeguarding electronic FI. It focuses on administrative, physical, and technical safeguards. Question 55. What is the HIPAA breach notification rule? Correct answer: requirements to notify affected individuals and authorities of breaches. Timely notification reduces harm and ensures transparency. Question 56. What is considered a breach under HIPAA? Correct answer: unauthorized access, use, or disclosure of unsecured FI. Not all incidents are breaches, but risk assessment is required. Question 57. What is a business associate? Correct answer: an entity that handles FI on behalf of a covered entity. Business associates must comply with HIPAA requirements. Question 58. What is a business associate agreement, BA? Correct answer: a contract requiring HIPAA compliance by business associates. BAS define responsibilities and safeguard FI. Question 59. What is the purpose of access controls under HIPAA? Correct answer: to limit FI access to authorized users only. Access controls protect confidentiality and security. Question 60. What does encryption do in data security? Correct answer: converts data into unreadable format without a key. Encryption reduces breach risk if data is compromised. Question 61. What is workforce training under HIPAA? Correct answer: educating staff on privacy and security responsibilities. Training reduces human error-related violations. Question 62. What is sanction policy in compliance? Correct answer: disciplinary guidelines for compliance violations. Consistent sanctions reinforce accountability. Question 63. What is internal reporting? Correct answer: employees reporting concerns within the organization. Internal reporting allows early issue resolution. Question 64. What is external reporting? Correct answer: reporting concerns to regulators or authorities. Used when internal channels fail or are inappropriate. Question 65. What is the False Claims Act? Correct answer: a law imposing liability for submitting false claims to the government. It includes whistleblower provisions and treble damages. Question 66. What are qui tam actions? Correct answer: lawsuits filed by whistleblowers on behalf of the government. Whistleblowers may receive a share of recovered funds. Question 67. What is record retention? Correct answer: maintaining records for required time frames. Proper retention supports audits and investigations. Question 68. Why must medical records be accurate? Correct answer: to ensure quality care and proper billing. Inaccurate records increase patient safety and compliance risks. Question 69. What is identity theft in healthcare? Correct answer: using another person's information for fraudulent purposes. It can lead to billing errors and patient harm. Question 70. What is cybersecurity risk? Correct answer: the risk of unauthorized access to systems or data. Cyber threats can lead to large-scale HIPAA violations. Question 71. What is a risk analysis under HIPAA? Correct answer: an assessment of vulnerabilities to FI. Risk analysis is required to implement safeguards. Question 72. What is incident response? Correct answer. Actions taken to manage and resolve security incidents. Effective response limits damage and liability. Question 73. What is corrective action planning? Correct answer. Developing steps to fix compliance weaknesses. Plans prevent repeat violations. Question 74. What is continuous compliance improvement? Correct answer. Ongoing evaluation and enhancement of compliance efforts. Compliance programs must evolve with risks and regulations. Question 75. Why is culture important in compliance? Correct answer. A strong ethical culture reduces violations. Culture influences daily decision-making and behavior. Question 76. What is the main purpose of compliance auditing? Correct answer. To evaluate whether operations comply with laws and internal policies. Audits identify gaps and verify program effectiveness. Question 77. How often should compliance audits be conducted? Correct answer. Based on risk, but on a regular and ongoing basis. Higher risk areas require more frequent audits. Question 78. What is a focused audit? Correct answer. An audit targeting a specific risk or department. Focused audits address known or emerging risks. Question 79. What is an internal investigation? Correct answer. A review of alleged misconduct or violations. Investigations determine facts and appropriate actions. Question 80. Why must investigations be confidential? Correct answer. To protect integrity and prevent retaliation. Confidentiality encourages honest participation. Question 81. What is a root cause analysis? Correct answer. Identifying underlying reasons for compliance failures. Fixing root causes prevents recurrence. Question 82. What is corrective discipline? Correct answer. Disciplinary action taken in response to violations. Discipline reinforces accountability. Question 83. Why must discipline be consistent? Correct answer. To ensure fairness and program credibility. Inconsistent discipline weakens compliance culture. Question 84. What is exclusion screening? Correct answer. Checking individuals against federal exclusion lists. Required to avoid billing federal programs improperly. Question 85. How often should exclusion screening occur? Correct answer. At higher and regularly thereafter, often monthly. Ongoing screening catches changes in status. Question 86. What is a compliance dashboard? Correct answer. A tool summarizing key compliance metrics. Dashboards help leadership monitor performance. Question 87. What is policy management? Correct answer. Creating, updating, and maintaining compliance policies. Current policies reflect regulatory changes. Question 88. Why must policies be reviewed periodically? Correct answer. Laws and risks change over time. Outdated policies increase non-compliance risk. Question 89. What is training effectiveness? Correct answer. Measuring whether staff understand compliance requirements. Effectiveness ensures training achieves its purpose. Question 90. What is documentation of training? Correct answer. Records showing who completed training and when. Documentation proves compliance during audits. Question 91. What is a compliance risk register? Correct answer. A list of identified risks and mitigation strategies. It helps prioritize compliance efforts. Question 92. What is delegation risk? Correct answer. Risk arising when tasks are assigned without proper oversight. Poor oversight can lead to violations. Question 93. What is third-party risk management? Correct answer. Oversight of vendors and partners for compliance. Third parties can expose organizations to liability. Question 94. What is data integrity? Correct answer: accuracy and reliability of data. Data integrity supports billing and reporting compliance. Question 95. What is improper inducement? Correct answer: offering something of value to influence healthcare decisions. It may violate anti-kickback laws. Question 96. What is patient steering? Correct answer: directing patients to specific providers for improper reasons. Steering can violate fraud and abuse laws. Question 97. What is informed consent? Correct answer: patient agreement after receiving adequate information. It protects patient rights and reduces liability. Question 98. What is EMTALA? Correct answer: a law requiring emergency care regardless of ability to pay. Brief explanation: hospitals must screen and stabilize emergency patients. Question 99. What is quality of care compliance? Correct answer: ensuring services meet professional standards. Poor quality can trigger compliance and billing issues. Question 100. Why is leadership reporting important? Correct answer: to keep leaders informed of compliance risks and outcomes. Regular reporting supports oversight and accountability.